Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. Hope you've been looking after yourselves, looking after each other, pulling your heads in and all that jazz. Here we are, yet again for another week, and yes, it is October. That's right, it's the lovely month of Halloween. And to celebrate Halloween, we're going to go back over these 4 weeks and review films that are Halloween classics, because Halloween is one of the greatest months ever. Just closely behind Christmas, of course. So, without further ado, we're going to get into it today. We're going to review an absolute classic. Cap off the rank is Disney's classic, Hocus Pocus. 3 witches are summoned by the 90th kid that ever 90'd in Salem after being presumed dead for 300 years. Their goal is to suck all the youth from all the young people in the town, as Maybelline's marketing was a bunch of bullshit. Let's go back to when Disney actually cared about its audience in Hocus Pocus. And that is a rundown / synopsis for Hocus Pocus, an absolute classic that we are reviewing today. It is directed by Kenny Ortega, who has directed a bunch of stuff. Just go to their IMDb, it is endless. But he's most notably for directing the trilogy of the High School Musical, and has actually been slated to direct the new reboot, remake, not sure what it is, of Dirty Dancing, because why, God, why? Now, I didn't grow up watching this film, like, full disclosure. I understand the nostalgia aspect of it, and it's absolutely ingrained in people's youth of being a Halloween classic. Now, it was in the zeitgeist when I was around, it was in my generation growing up, but I was more interested in watching Van Damme films and Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff like that. But I think I already knew how the film went, just via osmosis. So actually, this is my first time watching it, so this is going to be a full-blown, legit review. We all know that Salem is actually a real town, and back in ye olde times, they had the infamous witch trials. A lot of people were crucified and killed, murdered by ye olde town folk because, you know, they were accused of worshipping the devil and practicing witchcraft. Of course, it had nothing to do with jealousy and trying to get land off each other and, you know, gossipy town folk with fuck all to do but just point the finger at people. No, they were definitely satanic worshippers. And what better way to start a Disney film than in the setting of ye olde Salem town? We're introduced to our 3 witch sisters here, and they are currently putting a spell on a young girl in the town, trying to suck the youth from her to stay forever young. You know, pretty much what the Kardashians do now. But of course, before they can complete the ritual, they're captured and hanged, but not before turning a young boy in the town into an immortal black cat. I see you, Sabrina, the teenage plagiarist. Yes, we're introduced to our 3 witch sisters here. No, not them. They're the ones, led by the incredibly cartoony Bette Midler.
Oh no, Bette Midler!
We also have Kathy Najimy here as one of the sisters, and rounding out our trio, we have the hot one, Sarah Jessica Parker. Now, you know your makeup team is absolutely stellar in a film when your hot one is considered to be Sarah Jessica Parker. I'm sure a lot of young men back in the day fired off a few knuckle children to her character in this. Then we flash forward to 1993, present day, that's right, and we introduce to our protagonist who's the 90th kid that ever 90s, with his tie-dye shirt, his mid-parted floppy hair, and of course his drum kit in his bedroom. Rad. This type of protagonist was everywhere in the 90s, okay? Every sort of genre film like this was always, our lead was this kind of 90s kid. Like, the film Small Soldiers comes to mind, the lead in that, and pretty much anything Dev Asawa starred in all through that decade. His little sister here, he is forced to take trick-or-treating, which is very uncool for him. It's played by young Thora Birch, who in this film was just coming off playing Harrison Ford's daughter in Patriot Games. And of course, our little trio of kids is rounded off here with the cool chick that is our protagonist's crush, Allison. And of course, his doofus wakes up the 3 slumbering witches, and the farce begins. At one point, the witches even unleash Michael Jackson on the kids to chase them down, but of course, is a monster with a heart of gold. This is the perfect setting for a Halloween film. It's all left up to kids to save the day. The adults are off at a party getting liquored up somewhere and don't believe anything the kids are saying or the dark magic that's at play here. Everything about this film is quintessentially Halloween, even down to the colour palette, you know, with burgundies, oranges, and greens. The set dressing is absolutely on point. Everything is just super Halloween, and the season of fall is really on show here, with leaves on the ground everywhere, skeletal trees, and iron gates aplenty. We get a very playful score here by John Debney, who's wearing his Danny Elfman pants. It looks like it was all shot on sound stages and obviously was being Disney and all, but I think that just adds to the charm of the film and almost like you're at Disneyland walking through the streets of Halloweenville. Bette Midler's comic timing is on point. She is absolutely stellar in this. She made me laugh many, many times, and I haven't seen her on the big screen for a while, so I know the sequel's coming out and she's back for that, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she does with in the character in the sequel. The acting is okay, it's pretty over the top at times, but it just adds to the tone of the film and the fun that's being had on screen. It's all silly, inoffensive, and fun without actually talking down to you. It's quite pleasant. It was great going back to the 90s for an hour and a half and switching off your brain. You know, not an iPhone in sight, just kids just having fun, living in the moment, trying to kill some witches. Because us 90s kids weren't pussies. Also, the practical effects are great. It's really good to see on camera again, you know, clever little lighting, smoke machines, and wire work. Just what a welcome. It makes the film timeless and tangible, like you're seeing actual movie magic, you know, not CGI bullshit. And yeah, it makes the film timeless, so you could show any kid in any era of this film, and they're going to have a good time. You know, same what would happen if you showed them the original Star Wars trilogy or the first Jumanji film. I'm a little skeptical, however, as April mentioned, there is going to be a sequel to this, what they're going to do with it. Because, you know, I don't want to judge, before it even comes out, or I've even seen a frame of it, but let's be honest, with the track record, it's just going to be shit, isn't it? Hopefully not, but it very well could be. It's just going to be, they're going to have a bunch of CGI and stuff, a bunch of modern references and political views, which is going to date the film before it even comes out. Again, I don't mean to jump the gun or judge the film before we've even seen it or anything, but just have a look at the track record of Hollywood. Have a look at films that got a sequel 19 years or more after the fact and how they turned out. But fingers crossed that it all goes well. It's funny seeing costume parties on screen as well, especially ones from the 90s where they have the generic costumes in the costume party. Like, you've got Draculas, you've got people dressed up as Elvis and zombies and whatnot. I just wonder in the sequel if they're going to update that and make it a bit more modern, actual a costume party that you would go to nowadays. It'd be interesting to see if they update the costume party for the time. You know, you've been to a costume party in recent past, I assume, where there's a bunch of Harley Quinn cosplayers and a bunch of dickheads dressed as the Joker. And it'd be hilarious if one of these Joker characters come up to our protagonist and goes, "You know how I got these scars?" It's like, you're not Heath Ledger, shut up. This film is iconically Halloween. It's so Halloween, just as much as like the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is the Christmas movie. I totally understand the nostalgia of this film and the love for it. I had fun with it. Again, I didn't grow up watching this, but I knew it was around. And in watching this recently, it was just so good and so pleasant. As I said, you can show any kid. They're going to have a good time. It's timeless. It's tangible. And or just chuck it on in the background while you're having a Halloween party. But of course, it's a classic. 2 thumbs up from me. Love this film. Bloody good time. If you haven't seen it already, go watch it. And that is my review for Hocus Pocus, the classic Disney Halloween film. If you've made it this far into the episode, please give us a thumbs up and a like, because your love and support keeps this channel going. And yeah, we're just doing this because we love movies. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe, because we give it episodes weekly. And yeah, we'll see you next week for the next Halloween film. What it will be, who knows? Tune in then. And as always, stay spooky, kids.